Hello everybody, hope you are doing well. Today we are going to be implementing the CreateView, which is this one, and we will also be handling how to go to the full screen from this screen, so how to display this view in full screen. So hope you find it interesting, and let's start coding. Okay, so first thing we need to go to our CreateView folder and create two new folders. The first one will be called view model, and the second one it will be called view. Okay, perfect. Okay, so in our view folder, let's create a new file, a SwiftUI view, and let's call it CreateView. Okay, perfect. And in our view model, let's create a new file, also a Swift file, and let's call it CreateView model. Okay, perfect. Let's start with our CreateView model. So let's import observation, and let's create our class. So at observable and class CreateView model. And in our CreateView, let's call our view model. So it will be var or at state private var view model equals to CreateView model. Okay, perfect. Okay, if we focus on this one, as you can see, it's a VStack, and this VStack is inside a navigation stack, because this one is clearly a toolbar with a top bar leading. So let's create a navigation stack. Okay, and inside this navigation stack we will have a VStack with a spacing of 25. Okay, first thing in this VStack, as you can see, we go to text, start creating now. So let's create a text. Start creating now. Let's give it a font of title free and a font weight of semi-bold. Okay, perfect. And to all this we will give it a toolbar, and here we are talking about this button. So you will have a toolbar item with top bar leading, and it will be button with action and label, and for the label it will be image with system name xmark, and we will give it a foreground style of black. Okay, perfect. It should, this button when clicked on, it should dismiss the view. So let's add environment /.dismiss private var dismiss, and here let's call our dismiss. Okay, which is perfect. Now if I go to my main tab view, and instead of calling text create menu, let's call our CreateView. Okay, and we don't need to pass anything for it for now, at least. Okay, and when I click on it, it dismisses, which is perfect. Okay, now let's continue implementing it. The second thing, as you can see, this is an A stack, and inside this A stack, this is clearly a reusable component, so we will create a reusable component, and this reusable component is clearly a V stack. You can see a circle, and below it, it's a text. So an A stack, and inside the A stack, we got a V stack. So let's write this. So an A stack, we will give it a spacing of 50, and inside this A stack we got a V stack. We will give it a spacing of 8. Okay, which is perfect. If we return here to our V stack, you can clear what we got, a circle, and below it we got a text. So let's do this. A circle with fill, we will give it the color of dot system gray 6. And the frame with width and height of 60. Okay, which is perfect. And below it we got our text that says pin, and it got a font of dot caption. Okay, so far it's perfect, but as you can see, above this circle we got this image. So we can either use a Z stack or dot overlay. We are going to use dot overlay because in the previous video we used already a Z stack, so it's dot overlay, and we will give it a system name, and we will use something from our SF symbol, so pin.fill. Okay, let's wait for it. Hopefully everything will be working perfectly. Okay, and we can do this. You can give it an image scale of dot large. Okay, but personally I prefer to give it a font of dot system with a size of 24. Okay, perfect. Okay, the next thing, as you see, this needs to be reusable, so let's make it a reusable component. Let's go to our and extract a subview. Let's do refactor rename, and let's call it create option view. Okay. To make it reusable, instead of using this string pin or this image name pin.fill, we need to pass a title and an icon. So private var title of type string and private var icon also of type string. And because they are private, we need an initializer. Now, once we add these arguments here, we can pass pin as title and pin.fill as icon. And of course, instead of using pin, you can pass the title, and instead of using pin.fill, you can pass the icon. Okay, which is perfect. The second thing we need to do, as you can see, okay, for some reason it crashed, I don't know why. Okay, as you can see, we got the same element two more times, so we will use it two more times, the second time and the third time. For the second time it will be college, and for the emails it will be scissors, and again it's from our SF symbol, and here it will be board, and for the image it will be square dot grid dot 2x2 dot fill. Okay, perfect. If I go to check it in my main tab view, it should be working perfectly so far, and okay, and very similar to what we got here, which is perfect. The next step we need to do now is when I click on it, I want to display, as you can see, the full screen. Okay, and to do so, there are a few things to keep in mind. Okay, the first one, if we go back to our main tab view, as you can see, we are giving it a presentation distance with a height of 250, which is wrong. We need to check if it's in mode full screen or not. If it's not in full screen, we pass a height of 250, but if it's in full screen, we pass dot large. So I need to go to my main tab view model, and here we go to var is full screen, and we create a boolean that is by default false. Okay, now I go to my main tab view, and if new value equal to, as you can see, when I click on create, it starts with a height of 250. That's why here I want view model dot is full screen to be false. Okay, perfect. And here when I'm giving it presentation distance, I want to check on is full screen. If is full screen equal true, in that case I want to give it an array of dot large. Apologize, dot large. Else it will be a dot height of 250. Okay, and I apologize, I forgot, I need the view model dot is full screen. Okay, perfect so far. Now when it's is full screen, it will like this display the full screen. If not, it will just display with a height of 250. Okay, so now it needs to have a button, this board. So when I click on it, the is full screen becomes true. So I need to go to my CreateView, and here we need to place this inside the button. Let's start with the board for now, then we can handle the other ones. Okay, for label I give it this one, and for the button and for the action I want is full screen to become equal to true. And I don't have full screen here, so I will have at binding var is full screen. It will be a boolean, and here I want is full screen to be equal to true. Okay, I think so far it's very easy. Now in my main tab view I need to add is full screen. $view model dot is full screen, which is perfect so far. Okay, and I think here also I need to pass a binding boolean, so let's give it dot constant of false. Okay, perfect so far. Okay, now the next step we need to keep also in mind is that, as you can see, I got 1, 2, 3 option, and for every option it got its own full screen. So in the case of a board, I need a boolean to know if I'm showing the board or not. So here in my CreateView model, I need to add a variable, and I will call it show create board. It will be a boolean, and by default it will be false. So now in my CreateView, when this button is clicked, its full screen will be true, and also show create board. So view model dot show create board will be equal to true. And okay, and something I forgot, as you can see, it's in blue. So in our reusable component, let's give the whole VStack, or yes, the whole VStack, let's give it a foreground style of dot black. Okay, perfect. Okay, now the last thing we need to keep in mind, and it's how we are going to be displaying this create board. And to be clear, there are many ways of displaying it now. Personally, I will use the easiest way, I think, but it doesn't mean it's the best or anything. So our navigation, I will do an if condition. I will embed it inside VStack, and it will be else here with if and else. Okay, perfect. And here it will be if view model dot show create board is true. In that case, I will just display another view, for example, text create board. Okay, that should be all to implement it. So if I go now to my main tab view, hopefully everything will be working perfectly. Okay, so if I click on create, it displays it in a height of 250, which is perfect. If I click on board, it displays the create board, which is also perfect. I think that's all we need to do. Maybe one last thing is inside my VStack, I will probably need a spacer. So okay, so delete this extra space first of all, and here I will probably need a spacer, but that's all. If I go now to my main tab view, hopefully it will be exactly like the complete app. So if I click on create, I got board, I display this. It's perfect, I think. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.